Good morning, fellow foodies. So, I was reading in the paper where we're going to have a meat shortage soon. So, my thought was, instead of having Meatless Monday, we can just have Meat Monday. So, what I've decided to fix today is red lentil soup and also cheese crackers, sourdough cheese crackers. So, let's get started. For our red lentil soup, we would need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, I'm only one person, so I'm gonna half everything. So instead of olive oil, I used my bacon drippings. So I used a tablespoon of bacon drippings, a half a cup of chopped onion, 3 cloves of garlic. No, I don't have any garlic, but I have this, and this will work. This is fresh garlic, but it's in another form. 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cumin, a half a cup of dried carrot, or diced carrot, I'm sorry, 1½ cups of red lentils, 1/3 cup tomato sauce. I don't have tomato sauce, but I do have tomato paste in the tube that I'm going to substitute. 1 cup of water, 4 cups of chicken or vegetable stock. I have chicken broth that I'm going to use, and if I don't have enough, I'm going to make up some chicken bouillon to make up my liquid. So, let's get started. What I've done is I have preheated my oil. We're gonna chop up. I'm gonna use, let's see what half of this looks like. Diced onion. Okay. Because I'm only going to use a half a cup of lentils. So I believe that this half a cup of onions is going to be sufficient. I do like onions and I do like garlic, so I usually add a little bit more than what's called for. However, you make it the way you like it. There we go. And it says to use a half a cup of diced carrot. So in other words, we would use 1/4 of a cup of diced carrot. It's a nice day today, a nice sunny day. This really doesn't take too long to cook. You could fix this on after you get home from work. If you make your crackers the night before, the evening before, all you have to do is your lentil soup, and that only takes about 30-45 minutes. Remember, you're going to mise en place. You're going to get all of your ingredients out. I have already pre-measured my spices. Here they are. I have pre-measured everything. So let's get started. We want to soften our onion and our carrot. 1/4 cup of carrot. Okay. There we go. Now here are my red lentils that I have picked. Make sure there's no stones. And I have rinsed. This is a half a cup of lentils. So, what do you think? I'm going to ask you a question now. What do you think you could cook that doesn't include meat? Put your thinking cap on. Not only put your thinking cap on, do what I do. You search. You go, there's umpteen recipe sites on the internet, of which Pinterest is my favorite, because you can go in there after you open your account. You can go in there and you can search like meatless, and it'll come up with a lot of recipes. This is what we've got going on in the pot, okay? Because I don't have a camera person, this is the way we do it. And while the lentils are cooking, we're going to make our sourdough cheese crackers. That, of course, I did a little, it was just sourdough crackers. And I said, I just got an order of Wisconsin cheese, which is amazing, from Cheese Brothers. So I got a little piece of sharp cheddar. So I said, let's just get a little oomph going in there and add a little sharp cheddar cheese. Here we go. Sharp cheddar cheese. Oh, we've got smell-o-vision going. Yes, we do. Let's soften them up. Now, of course, you can use, if you're a vegetarian, I'm sure you're going to use your canola oil, your grapeseed oil, whatever kind of oil you like. That's the beauty of cooking. You don't have to really follow a recipe. You just merely want to get an idea. You know what your taste buds like. So let that be your judge. Let that guide you. You know what like this, for instance, this recipe calls for maybe a teaspoon of cumin. I love cumin. I didn't half that. I put in a teaspoon because I wanted it. That's what you do. Of course, if you're cooking for your family, you know what they like. We're almost ready to add our, I want to show you something. We're going to do the sourdough crackers. Here is sourdough that I have had sitting. This is unfed sourdough, aka discard. Normally you would feed half of it, throw the other half away. Well, I'm not throwing anything away. See that little stuff on top? It's called hooch. No, it doesn't look good. And all you simply do when you get ready to cook is pour it off. Now I'm going to add these garlic granules because I'm almost ready to put the liquid in. I don't want to burn it. Burnt garlic does not taste good at all. Okie doke, let's get these lentils in here. Smells divine. And we'll give that a good stir. This is what we're looking like. This is it. Smells so good. Now to that, I'm going to add my spices, salt and pepper, and we're going to give that a good stir. Mix that all up. Wake those spices up a little bit. Smells so good. Now, the recipe calls for 1 cup of water and 4 cups of vegetable stock, which would make 5 cups of water, correct? So, what I'm going to do, I want 2.5 cups of liquid, okay? Here's 1 cup of chicken stock, chicken broth. Let's see how much else we got going on here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that up. Another cup. I do have chicken cubes. So what I'm going to do is put one of these chicken cubes in my pot, break it up, kind of smash it up a little bit. Here we go. And add this cup of water. Now we need another half cup, correct? Okay. Here we go. Now, it may or it may not taste like it's supposed to. So that's why we taste as we go along. So now we have all of our stuff for our lentil soup in the pot. And we're going to let that simmer a while. The beans need to simmer for about 20-25 minutes and then they're done. Okay? So let's move some of this out of the way. I'm going to keep this out because as I taste test, I might want to add a little bit more of the chicken cube. I'm going to leave the garlic out. Okay, so I think now we're ready to make our crackers. Okay, so you need a bowl. The ingredients for your sourdough crackers are 1 tablespoon of cumin seed, 1 tablespoon of coriander seed, 1 tablespoon of dried oregano, 1½ tablespoons of toasted sesame seed, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. The cracker, now that's the sprinkle, that's the stuff that you put on top. It's called za'atar. However, of course, you know, I'm not sticking to anybody's rules. The cracker ingredients are 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of whole wheat flour, 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 cup of unfed sourdough starter, minus the hooch, 1/4 cup olive oil, plus more for brushing, flaky salt like Muldoon or whatever type of salt you like. Of course, it might be Himalayan sea salt. That would be your topping. My toppings will be toasted sesame seed, and I'm going to try this. I smelled it and I said, that might work. It's called tabil. So, I'm also going to add, I harvested some flowers from the chives last year. Thought I'd incorporate some of these. They have an oniony, a mild oniony flavor. So I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to, this is some sea salt flakes. See? Sea salt flakes. Okay, let's get started. So, we want 1/2 cup of whole wheat flour. Half a cup of our whole wheat flour. 1/2 cup of AP flour or all-purpose flour. Okay, there we go. Three-quarters teaspoon of kosher salt. So, here's a 1/2 teaspoon. And 1/4 teaspoon of our kosher salt. And we're going to kind of get this incorporated, get our flours incorporated. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to measure. I'm going to pour off the hooch, and then we're going to measure out 1 cup of unfed sourdough starter. I keep sourdough starter. I keep it boiling around. I keep everything. Woo! That smells just like hooch. That's what it is. Hooch. Got a lot of very good properties in there. Gonna have just about, well, we're gonna get it. We're gonna make it. Here. We're not wasting any of it. So here is our cup of unfed sourdough starter, aka discard. Here we go. Let's mix this all together. Now what I want to do before it's all mixed up is I want to grate some of this cheese in there. And I don't want the cheese to be really big pieces, so I'm going to use the microplane. And I guess my mind will tell me how much I want to grate. Boy, do they wrap this stuff up good. Like I said, this is from Cheese Brothers. It's Wisconsin cheese. You know how they mark it on the stage when actors are acting? Guess I ought to mark my cutting board so that oh, that looks like that might be enough. Okay? At some point, like right about now, we're going to get our hands in this. Finish mixing it all up. Sure there's no dry flour. Okay. Get all of this incorporated. Back over here. We're going to get it all in there, aren't we? There we go. It's all in there. Okay. Now, here comes the fun part. We're going to heat up our stove, heat our oven to 350 degrees. Check to make sure we don't have any extra pots in there. Woo-hoo. bit more. Whoa, where are you going? Okay. Now, I have tried to make crackers before, and transferring crackers from your surface, your rolling surface, to your oven is tricky. So, what I like to do is, what I'm going to do now is, we're going to roll it out and we're going to bake it right on this pan. Okay, so we're going to cut this in half, and let's cut that in half again. I'm going to try to press it into a rectangle. And the paper looks like it's going to slide. So what I'm going to do is let it. Okay. All right, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Now, we're going to use a rolling pin. Let's get this in a sort of a rectangle. There we go. You know what? That's not working out. I bet this will work better because I can turn it. Yeah. Gonna stick. Okay, so we're gonna roll this about 1/8 of an inch thick. Here we go. Woo-hoo. I want to roll it a little bit thinner so that they're really good and crispy. Okay. There. Now, I'm going to spread a little olive oil so we have something for our seeds to stick to. A light coating of olive oil. Yeah, just a wee bit more in this corner here. Here we go. Alrighty. Okay, so we can sprinkle some of our chive, some of our, this is how I like to spread it. course, some sesame seeds. You can use black, brown, whatever you have, that's what you use. Now, I want to kind of press everything in to the dough, like so. Let's get a couple more of these chives around, flatten them in. Now comes the fun part. Okay. Now we get to cut. Let's do this on our pan. And we're at 350 degrees. So. They're not gonna all be perfect like the little crackers that you get in the store. They're gonna taste so much better, I guarantee it. So this is even a recipe that your young ladies could do. So, oh, almost finished. You can use a knife, you can use a pizza cutter, whatever's sharp. Well, we're ready for the oven. Now, if you want to know what this looks like when it's all finished, look for me at Judy Patches Baker, Judy Patches Camp/Baker. On Facebook. I'll have a picture of everything when it's done. Okay? Until our next venture, see you. Bye-bye. Happy cooking.